Hello, welcome back to the video. This video, so every month I don't know if you if you've watched the last one, but hello, welcome back to the video. Whether you've watched this other one or not, but every month I try to issue a video every week. But so 3 of them are going to be educational or talk about specific topics, but one every month is going to be like a spin-off thing, and we're going to talk about the absolute dog shit like nutrition advice that you can find on the internet. Things like trends and books and recipe books and advice and shit like that. So this is one of them, and this one's quite bizarre. It's probably how long this idea goes on for, but it's probably going to be one of the worst ones that we've come across. But the reason I'm talking about it is, one, to show you how bizarre it is. Two, it's to show you what people will do to potentially make money or get fame or whatever, because bullshit sells, and scaring people also sells as well. And number three, I also want to point out how stupid people can be to potentially follow this. So it's to give you awareness of the shit that's out there, in a nutshell. So it's called the baby food diet, which is, you might find me laugh during this because it is that crazy, but we'll get into where it came from and stuff in a minute. But anyway, so this one, the baby food diet, there's some rules about it, and I got these rules from a book. There's 2 books on Amazon, and one of them's 5-star. It cost me about £8 for the both of them, and they were both terrible. I don't even know who the authors are, but it was absolute dog shit. But what I gathered from the books is, if you want to follow this diet, you can eat between 1 and 14 jars of baby food. You also get a meal at the end of it, and the reason why you would follow a baby food diet is because it promotes calorie control and calorie portions, because it's obviously small jars. Mentions nothing about the one meal at the end, so according to this, if you have 14 jars of baby food, it's supposed to be 100 calories each, so 1400 calories. But then it says one meal at the end, so you could have a Domino's pizza for that, for example. So then you could eat you could have like a 3000 calorie day at the end of that, because that meal isn't really specific. Anyway, moving on from that. Apparently it promotes flexibility because there is that many different kinds of baby food that you can have, because there's shelves full of the fucking stuff. Apparently it curbs cravings, so if you're ever craving a bit of chocolate or ice cream or crisps, apparently if you have a jar of baby food, that would curb that craving instead of just having a bit of whatever you were craving. Because we all know that if you want a bit of chocolate, we would rather just have the jar of baby food instead, wouldn't we? So the other one is versatile, and it's handy for being on the go. So if you were out and about shopping, or you were on a date or anything like that, you could just nip into the shops and get yourself a jar of baby food and walk down the street with it with a spoon, and everybody can just look at you like you're an absolute nutter. Last point in one of these books as well, which I found hilarious, is it says apparently it requires you to have a healthy relationship with food. If you're ever considering going on a baby food diet, you do not have a healthy relationship with food, because it is absolute bonkers to even consider this. So where did the whole baby food thing come from? Apparently it came from a famous PT or nutrition coach. If you Google it, you can find it. You can find her name. I think it was Pamela something. She has 1 million followers on Instagram, which doesn't really mean anything these days, but she's got 1 million followers. And this thing never really took off. That's maybe why you've not heard of it. You do need to go into the dark corners of the internet to find it, because you tend to find that these fad diets, if there is some success with them, they usually keep on lingering. This one never. So it was 2015 or something. You can read the articles about it. And this this Pamela, whatever her name is, she apparently had her clients, Jennifer Aniston, do it, and then also the other followers on that was Gwyneth Paltrow and Lady Gaga. Cheryl Cole's name is mentioned as well. I think these names are just mentioned without actually any sustenance behind it. Like, I think these names are just plucked out of a hat. But I also think that these celebrities that their names have been plucked out of, they will have followers that probably then thought, Jennifer Aniston's doing baby food diet, so I'm going to do it, and then completely fuck up the relationship with food. Even worse, because if they're considering this, the relationship with food's probably already fucked. So the funny thing is about this sort of online, like the online thing, you can, if you search on Instagram, there are people that are called like baby food diet or follower. Like there's about 4 or 5 pages or accounts that actually try to follow this, and they've not posted for years, obviously, because it obviously never took off. But it's just funny that people actually, it's kind of funny that people followed it. But if you go online on YouTube, there's actually people that have videoed themselves for a week eating baby food, and they were like, at the start, like, let's give this a go. And at the end of the 7 days, they were like, this is the worst fucking idea I've ever had. So it just goes to show why it didn't take off. But unfortunately, there are gullible people out there that would potentially follow this just because of their favourite like celebrity or star did anything like that. I shouldn't have to tell you the negatives of baby food diet, but I'll give you a few. Like very little vitamins and minerals in tiny portions of food, lack of protein, it's not sustainable, it's not socially friendly. And when I say socially friendly, like, if I pulled out a jar of baby food in front of my mates, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And if you can imagine, like, Jennifer Aniston apparently having to follow this, and her on the set of Friends and being like, we were on a break, and no we weren't, and director shouts cut, and then she goes to the side and pulls out a jar of baby food, like a beef casserole jar of baby food, and starts chowing down on that. I'd like to think that people would have the common sense to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? And if you're watching this, Jennifer Aniston, I actually don't believe you that you ever done this, but if you did, there's better ways of creating a sustainable calorie deficit to lose weight. With these diets, sometimes you're like, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. This is not one of those situations. This is an absolute terrible fucking bit of advice, and I hope that woman who recommended it or created it does not do any shit like this anymore, or recommend food to anybody, because if you were a person that gave out this sort of advice in any sort of company, you should get the sack. So if you work by yourself, you better not be promoting any shit. It's just not, I doubt shit. Like I said, nobody's promoting this, but to promote in the first place and try to get any sort of, what's the word for it? Like attention for it. It's still bonkers to even consider saying some shit like this. It's just pureed foods, which I've tried to find some sort of benefit of something like this, and the only thing I could think of is pureeing or putting some food in smoothies like fruits and berries and stuff like that is a good way of quickly getting in some vitamins and minerals and stuff that you might feel like you're lacking. I would never put in any vegetables in a smoothie, but each to their own. That's the only benefit I can come of it, but don't be buying fucking jars of baby food to do that. Make it yourself. The other thing is a quick one, is don't blend your meals. Because there are, again, idiots that do it online. There's like bodybuilders and stuff who try and they blend their foods. So they put like their chicken and rice in a blender, and I'm hoping it's to get some sort of following, or, like I said, bullshit sells. So if you're a fucking idiot that's blending your meals, you've got to get clicks and stuff like that. That's the only reason I can see why people would do that. I'd like to think they don't do it on a daily basis. But if they do, just leave the blending of your meals to the idiots online. I think I am done there. Like I said, there's many methods to try and create a sustainable calorie deficit. Eating baby food on a daily basis is not one. But unfortunately, there are fucking idiots out there. There's people who marry their animals, and there's also people that think the earth's flat. So if there are idiots out there like that, there's probably bigger idiots that would follow something like this. I think I'm done here. So if round it off, please don't do anything like this. Personally speaking, I would rather shit myself and sit in it for a week rather than consider this. But each to their own. I will see you in the next video, which will be on something. Yeah, see you later.